I also want to talk about how I picked this, because I know there's a lot of reviews out there, and last thing you need is another review of the Radiomaster Pocket, okay? You already know all the features, you've probably seen all the videos already, but I wanted to go over why I chose this over the BetaFPV Lite Radio. Okay, so I've had the Lite Radio, the original one, and then I bought the Lite Radio 2 SE, and I had the opportunity to buy the Lite Radio 3, and so I was like, do I buy Lite Radio 3 or do I get this guy? And they were roughly the same price. Not really. This thing is maybe about $20 more. The ELRS version is a little bit more than the other version, and it does not include batteries. So you have to spend another $12 to $17 on batteries for this, which is not internal and not included. So that's one thing, but long-term, big picture, you know, we're supposed to use this for a couple years at least, right? So that's gonna be okay. And so I did want to invest in that. Let's take a look at the old BetaFPV Lite radios and do a comparison. Okay, the reason why I picked a small radio is it's just in my nature. When I started to have a baby, I had a small diaper bag. I drive a small tiny car here. I travel light when I travel. Small bag, even just a backpack if I'm going on just a night or two. So I like traveling light, and I'm fine with simplicity, and oftentimes I'm actually willing to pay more for less. But in this case, both the Lite Radio and the Radiomaster Pocket are cheaper than a full-size radio, generally speaking. And so I did find this very attractive, not just because of the price of like under $50, but just the simplicity of it. So this is the Lite Radio 2, and I'm gonna show you the Lite Radio 1 and how that's deteriorated, and it's a little bit scary. One vulnerable thing about this is the bullet switches, right? So I did drop the Lite Radio 1, and my fault completely, right? But it goes to show you that the bullet switches are not that durable and can snap and break. Not specific to the BetaFPV radio, but just in general, bullet switches in general. So it's nice to see that the Lite Radio 3, they have toggle buttons as opposed to these bullet switches that are vulnerable to breaking. We're gonna look at the Lite Radio 1, the version before this, and you're gonna be a little bit shocked because I know no one on YouTube has done a long-term review of this. Usually they show you the radio and they just got it and they used it for a week and they tell you how great it is and why you should buy it until the next best thing, okay? But I am a actual owner, and this video is not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody. And so I do wanna show you how the Lite Radio 1 lasted over almost 3 years, right? And it's gonna be a little shocking. This is the Lite Radio 2 SE, and this is the Lite Radio 1, the original one. Notice the little color difference? So I actually do not keep this in the sun. I do not expose it to heat. It's in this bag, and I generally am shying away from the sun, so I'm usually flying in the shade, yet this turns all yellowy and gross, and actually it's a little bit sticky. And so this is the back, okay, and this is the front. And so this is not acceptable. It's not usable. So even if all the switches did work on this, it's just kind of gross. So this is gonna go into the recycling. It's just kind of nasty. And this one is newer, and that's why it looks better, but it's the same material, which is very, very cool as far as texture, okay? It's not like a smooth plastic. It's got some grippiness to it, and I do like it. And I used to have a pager, pager, that was this material, and actually my glasses here are the same material, but even this, in the sun and just the weathering, after a while it just gets kind of gross and turns into that. So longevity wise, not that great. Under $50, I guess we're not expecting it to be perfect. So, you know, fail and kind of prematurely dying. And then this one does okay. And so I'm hesitant to buy Lite Radio 3, even though it has better switches and they got rid of the bullet switches here. So one thing that would excite me is if this pocket radio fit in this slot. That's actually a big deal to me. So I did measure this before buying, actually shortly after buying it, because I was already set on getting this. But we're gonna see right now in person whether it fits. And I have not done this. I just came to the garage. I just came home and we're gonna try it out. Okay, so we're gonna take this Lite Radio out and we're gonna see if this will fit. So the size is good. And let's see the height, okay? I know it's gonna stick up a little bit, but it's gonna stick up less than how much that protrudes up. Okay, so we're gonna put this cap on or cover, and it does look like it's gonna zip just fine. Think. So it is gonna work, and I love how the gimbals, or the sticks rather, are set inside here or recessed in the grip for storage, and the antenna folds down, much like the TBS radios. And one thing that was a concern for me that I'm happy to see is actually, I was worried that this little slot would be too loose and the sticks could fall out. Or it would be too tight and it would be hard to get out, but they're not. You just, see if I can catch this on right there, ding, and then just snaps back in. And it's the perfect amount of grippiness where it's sized correctly. And again, I am very happy it fits in here. So now I have everything I need. I have my tools in this top case. Let's just go ahead and open that right now. If you're wondering, this case is from Aliexpress. I bought it for like $12. It went down to $8, and now you can buy it for like under $4. But it's pretty cool. Looks like this. Have my cables here, some tools for my Whoop stuff, some toothpick propellers, charging bank, blah, blah, blah. And then the SkyZone O2Cs, and now the Pocket Radio fits inside here. So this is very, very good. I will do a review of this once I get some time on this, but I do want to show you the comparison. There's not a lot of comparison videos online because people are always just promoting one product, trying to get you to buy it with their link in the description. There's no link in the description. If you want this, you know where to get it. Race Day Quads, BetaFPV. I got this from Pyrodrone. You can get this from Aliexpress too. So there's a bunch of sources, okay? But let's take a look at the size here. And with the bullet switches, it's actually not that, the Pocket Radio is not that much taller as far as this dimension. And then let's go ahead and see the width here by comparison. And the width is actually, if this is flat, the Lite Radio is actually a little bit wider. Interesting. And so let's go back down and see the height. So that is the height of the radio. And these sticks do not come, this protector, by the way, was extra. I forgot where I got this, but it's a 3D printed thing. It does not come with the radio. And these are not removable. So the height is overall gonna be taller even when you're storing this. So this is actually very, very good. Oh, one more reason why I got this. Let me tell you. Okay, another convincing thing, or a reason I got this, is because the shell is replaceable. Okay, so remember the Lite Radio, the shell is not removable, at least not designed to be, and it discolored and it got all gross and the texture got sticky. And so this, because of the material, I'm not expecting that to happen at all. But if for some reason it does, then it can be replaced for $15 to $18 is what they sell these shells for. And you can get them in a variety of colors if you're into modding and stuff like that. And if this were to drop, I would expect the antenna to break first and the internals, the electronics, to actually be protected by the plastic, and the plastic would probably crack at the most, but not like split. So it's nice that I have the option to buy replacement shells, either for looks and appearances or for necessity if it gets damaged or broken. So that's another reason for Radiomaster Pocket over the BetaFPV Lite Radio. I know. Some of you are like, of course the Pocket Radio is better. Yes, it's a name brand, it's got more features, and it's priced more, okay? When you add the batteries and you add the fact that it's ELRS, it's fairly significantly more expensive, okay? It's like 30-something% more expensive, maybe even 40. So yes, we're expecting it to be better, but I was willing to absorb some drawbacks and kind of willing to deal with the cons of the Lite Radio if it performed better than the previous ones, not necessarily better than the Radiomaster Pocket. But the concern is that the gimbals got sticky on the Lite Radio. It got sticky within a few months, okay? And we're talking about hundreds of batteries. I fly a lot of whoops. Every time I fly a whoop, it's maybe, I don't know, 7 to 12 batteries at a time. So it gets a fair amount of use, and the gimbals got sticky. I saw one review on YouTube from an actual owner of a Lite Radio and not one of those sponsored ones. And the guy said that he experienced the gimbals failing, getting sticky also, but that he did not experience that on the Lite Radio 3. And so that got me excited. I was like, okay, maybe I should do it. But I'm like, dude, it's like one of them has failed already as far as discoloration and just the finish of it. And then I'm not willing to do it. I mean, even if the buttons don't break, the fact that the gimbals may fail, like at the end of the day, if you're gonna spend a little bit less money, but it's for something that is inferior rather, then I think I'd rather buy the Radiomaster Pocket, which I did. And it does come in a clear, like a frosted one that you saw, and it does come in black. I chose a frosted one basically for aesthetics because the blacks of that radio are a little bit accented and I just feel it looks better. Oh, another reason why I got this is because it has cool lights. When it's clear, you can see the lights come out better, and it turns green when it's on. One last thing, okay? People are wondering how big this is, and it's hard to tell on camera, so I'm gonna use my hat. This is how big it is, relatively speaking. And we're gonna flip this over because we're gonna put that inside. Kind of see how big that is. And this is my shoe, and we're gonna put this in my shoe, and you're gonna see relatively how big that is compared to something else. All right, see you later, bye. One last thing about the Pocket Radio is the back. So it does have the ability to put in a module. And so I have been out of FPV for maybe a year, okay? The truth is I crashed my 5-inch drone into my dad's window, broke it, and it cost me $700 to fix, and I got scared, okay? I'm not the best pilot. But the 5 inches were amazing, and I had the Nazgul too. And so I got nervous, and I kind of took a hiatus and got back in RC cars and e-bikes. But now I'm getting back into whoops, and I saw that ELRS is basically replacing FR Sky. And I got worried. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have to get a new protocol. And so this one I chose to get the ELRS. And the beauty of it is that the module that fits in this bay right here in the center, I can get an FR Sky one and it's only $20. So if for some reason I'm not using the old Lite Radio for FR Sky and I did want to basically replace that with this guy, then I spend $20 for that module and we can do FR Sky. But obviously it gets a little bit bulkier, it's a little bit more money, so I likely won't do that. I'll probably fly the FR Sky stuff until it dies, and then probably not necessarily buy new parts for it and just kind of shelve it away and then continue with the ELRS. At least that's the plan, that's my thinking. All right, see you later. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Small channel, I'll probably see your comment, okay? Take care, best of luck, and fly safe.